Hello and welcome to this edition of Exotic Gardening UK. In this episode we'll be having a good look inside the Propagator. So let's have a look in the Propagator. This is a Vitopod Propagator, and it's with a larger size, with the highest height you can get, 3 stacks of perspex with lids. Obviously now with a few things much higher than perspex, I don't have them on all the time, but normally I do, especially when germinating seeds. So let's dive right in and have a look what's growing. So we've got the Irricene cuttings that I took last October, and basically everything that's in my Propagator will make all the colourful bedding plants that I have in the garden, and the Irricene makes a major part of that. And we've got 3 different types. So we've got the wonderful cream and green variegated type here with the red stems, or pink stems should I say. And that really is ready to propagate once more, take more cuttings off this cutting. And it's made a really big plant, and this had no light given to it other than what's available at this time of year in the greenhouse. I do have a little spotlight here which is made up of all these LEDs. I've had this for about 5 years now. I've not used that yet this season. I'm going to start using it now. We get into the end of December. I'm going to put this on, and it will just help this side of the Propagator, and it'll help this side a little bit, but mainly what's just underneath it. And we also, back to the Irricene, we have this wonderful pink, burgundy, sort of almost black as well, variegation. And again, this has made really nice cuttings. I could even take more cuttings of this from this one. And the important job I've been doing, just keep checking on these, is to actually, if you take off any dead leaves or dying leaves, so like this one here, I'll just take that away and put that with the rest of the rubbish in here. So I've been going through some of the plants in the greenhouse and taking off any dying leaves. We've also got the Plectranthus, so we've got a nice variegated type here. And we've got a Solenstormum here as well. And further down, if we look down there, we've got some more Solenstormum, and we've also got a nice little begonia there as well, just a tiny little plant, little cane begonia there. Nice spotty one, and that will in time grow reasonably tall for begonia. And we've got a tiny little colocasia that's just been divided from another plant, just a tiny little one there. And that should be black, but at the moment it's green because of this time of year. There's not enough light in here. And if we just go around, we've got here, it's called Party Time. It's a well, it's quite rare in the UK, relative of the Irricene, sometimes labelled as Irricene, and that is got the neon pink and green variegation. It's quite random. So that came as a very small cutting, it's just growing on this winter. There's another begonia there, and here we've got a colocasia. So you've seen in other videos a dry store quite a lot. I keep some just in the greenhouse, but this one I've decided just to keep in here for now, see if we can get that to grow well over winter. It's down to 2 leaves because of the light levels. It's really hard to keep lots of leaves in winter because it's not obviously bright enough. This is another colocasia, but I let it completely dry out and it lost all its leaves. And this is El Peo, with wonderful speckled and banded variegation, sort of white, cream and green. So that will recover, I'm sure. It's quite warm in here. So I keep this at about 20 to 25 degrees at the sort of root level. Obviously the air level's a bit cooler in here because it's just in the open greenhouse, and the greenhouse is kept about 10 degrees. So again, we've got more of the cuttings of the Ericene, and we've got the cuttings I took from the Begonia luxurians. So if I just lift that out, I keep everything quite dry in here. So you can see I've got 3 little plants that were just 3 cuttings, and they've rooted in there. I say keep everything dry, I mean it gets a good soaking, but because it's warm it dries out very quickly, so I'll probably have to water it here probably 3 times a week just to keep everything happy. I do keep everything like on the drier side, so when I notice the leaves looking a little bit droopy, I'll give everything a good water and then let it practically dry out after that. We've got 2 more Plectranthus here, so we've got the all gold here, Argentinus here, and again these are all cuttings, so I'll just do a link up in the corner to when I actually took the cuttings, so you can see that video of how I took the cuttings. It was only a couple of months ago. And here we have a wonderful colocasia. Look at the variegation on that. And this has kept quite a few leaves, but that's because it's made up of quite a few plants. So each individual plant is probably only 2 leaves each. Like I said, it's hard to keep the colocasias keeping lots of leaves when the light level's so low. We have some more Plectranthus here. This one's got the really dark purple underneath, although it's not as dark at the moment, again because of the light levels. Got one actually trying to flower over here, and see, if you see flowers on these, you don't want that, so it's best to nip them out, because we really want it just to grow leaves at this stage, no flowers, and obviously grow good roots as well. So that's everything inside the Propagator, apart from one obviously glaring omission, and that is my onset Ventricrosum Henebert banana. So this was the division I did from one plant. So if we look across here, we've got some of the Henebers, and I just basically, see that one there, I just cut that down to ground level when it's outside in summer, and then I cut vertically like a cross shape through the base. Then I lifted that in October, November, brought it into the Propagator, and then you've got all these new shoots, and there's about 50 or 60 shoots in here, and the soil level dropped a little bit with these growing up. So what I need to do is just add a bit more compost around here, and if we just go in a bit closer, you can see, as well as all the shoots, we've got a few good roots coming as well. If I just go around to the other side, there you can see some decent roots. Now the trouble is, only a few of these will be rooting. Most of these are basically like when you've got eyes on a sprouting potato that you left in the cupboard too long. All the energy is still coming from the potato, or in this case from the corm of the banana. It doesn't really have its own roots on most of these little shoots, so it'll be many months before I can actually divide this. The main one here at the top, that would be fine if I divided that because it's got some roots, but most of them don't have roots, so it'll be a while before I can start messing about and dividing that. But hopefully by summer there'll be plenty of mini banana plants to sell on my open days. So that's the Propagator. I will put this light on, like I said, I've not had it on yet, but I'll put this light on a timer, so it'll go on for about 12-16 hours a day, just to give an extra bit of light. It's not loads, but it'll just be just enough to keep that side going. And as you can see, everything looks pretty healthy for this time of year. Like I said, it's nearly Christmas now, so it's mid to late December, and everything's still looking quite good. And I'll do an update at the end of winter, and then when I actually divide these, pot them up and then plant them out in 2021. Thank you for watching this edition of Exotic Gardening UK Yorkshire Kris Weekly. Join me next time, where I'll be doing more in the garden.